1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to Country Cold Cans. I'm Logan, sitting here with Andy and Kyle. Be sure to give us 5 stars, a great review on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Amazon, Podbean, wherever you get your podcasts, and check out the website, coldcansnetwork.com. We've got blog content and some new merch in the shop, so be sure to check all that out. All right, fellas, we've got some new songs to go down today. We're going to be talking about the new Koe Wetzel song Creeps, as well as the music video with it. And then we're going to follow that up by talking about the Hardy featuring Lainey Wilson song, Wait in the Truck, and the music video with that. But before we do that, Andy, I hear the service isn't that great out in Iowa, is it?
No, I think it's Verizon. If anybody has any suggestions for nationwide service that is better than Verizon, please let me know, because I am fed up with Verizon.
Well, if you follow the T-Mobile commercials, they say their coverage is better than Verizon. Maybe you could use that as a sample.
But if you look at their map, they even say they don't have service in the state of Nebraska.
Interesting. I thought you said you were in Iowa.
I am, but I go to Nebraska too. I need phone service in Nebraska. They just out the gate say, we don't do this area.
This sounds like a first world problem, really.
And it also sounds like to me that's another point for the South versus your preferred Midwest, because our cell service works pretty good here.
Yeah, I agree with Logan.
At home in the town of Roanoke Rapids, my phone doesn't work.
Hey. Even our little podunk town, we don't have 5G turned on, but we have 5Gs on the tanks. They have antennas. Just haven't turned them on yet for whatever reason. So we're right on the precipice.
Yeah, I'm not a big 5G guy.
I think 5G is shit.
Yeah, for the most part. But either way, let's kick things off with the Koe Wetzel song. So he had been releasing some teasers for this on Instagram, TikTok, all of his socials. And then I remember, I don't know if I was dreaming this or not, but I really thought that this song was going to be released like 2 weeks before it dropped. And then I think I read on Twitter that other people thought the same thing. Then it turns out it wasn't. And then it got said that it was coming out, what was it, last week? I think it was last Friday. So it drops, and he has a music video that accompanies it. Before we talk about the song, I think let's jump into the music video first, because the music video really doesn't have anything to do with what the song's about, but it's another Koe Wetzel, music video.
Off the wall.
Just kind of out there.
Now, on your point of it kind of quasi-leaking, I remember, if not, it was either a week or 2 weeks ago, Andy said on the podcast the name of the song. So, I mean, I'm almost positive, Andy, you said it was Creeps a week or two ago. So whether or not they just did they had a bad attempt at hiding it and just slowly leaking it or something, but the information was out there in the ether, and
I know that he had been teasing it.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I was thinking that it was supposed to release 2 weeks earlier.
Yeah, I feel like Andy was all over this and the new Parker song that came out a couple weeks ago. And Andy is way too online.
He released a phone number you could call. At least it was either a week or 2 weeks before the song came out. And I remember he initially released the wrong phone number, and everybody was calling it. And I don't know, it played a song. I never called it. But it played a new song. I'm assuming it was this song, and I think Logan knew the name of it.
Right.
Okay, that might have been it. Okay, that makes sense.
Sounds right to me. Andy, have you seen the music video?
Yeah.
You have?
Yep.
All right. Yeah, so opening up with the music video, like I said, it doesn't really fit the narrative of the song at all, but it's not unlike his last music video he did for April Showers. It's kind of out there. But the very opening scene of the music video, he has a zombie just kind of waddling across into the center of the screen. And then from behind, the zombie just drops because somebody shoots it and it's Koe holding a gun. And from that point forward, it just kind of sets the tone for what the music video is going to be. What were y'all's thoughts when you saw the zombie first thing?
So I'll go. I actually probably did this in the incorrect order. I watched the music video, and this is like, I don't know if Koe's a big Walking Dead fan, but I mean, even the zombies in it walk like the Walking Dead. But when I watched the music video, it kind of kind of tainted my view of the song, because I was like, because I based my original view of the song based on the music video. What the hell is this about? Because if you just watch the music video and listen to the song, it's not really what the song's about at all.
No.
And I actually went and looked up the lyrics after it, and I was like, oh wow, this is much deeper than this music video would make you kind of believe. The gist of the music video is he's just riding around hunting zombies in a 1990s Chrysler minivan with wood paneling on the side, I might add, which is a nice touch.
I like the retro minivan or van.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what the gun he's using is. It's very similar to an AK, but I'm not entirely sure. But the gist of the song is he's just popping zombies, and then the walkie-talkie comes on, and he just finds this girl in a.
But if you notice earlier in the music video, it's like it is his girlfriend, I presume, because it shows like on one of the early frames, he has like a Polaroid of her on his bag, but he's just walking so nonchalantly.
Yeah, I mean,
throughout the whole thing,
he goes through what I'm assuming is a school, and then a warehouse, and then after the warehouse, he ends up in this junkyard. I'm assuming maybe, and she's on top of a car with multiple things attacking her. And none of this follows the gist of the song.
It doesn't.
The main message.
And we'll get to the end of the music video in a minute. We're not going to spend forever on the music video because, no pun intended, former Koe song. But, Andy, what did you think when you saw it, when you clicked on, you're like, oh, hell yeah, new Koe song. Well, watch the music video. And then a zombie comes walking across.
Well, I was late to watch the video. Actually, I don't think I watched the video until today. I saw a clip of the video on his Instagram, so I knew that. But my initial thought was basically the same as my other thoughts on it. I fucking hate zombies and vampires and werewolves. I don't like them.
So what we can take from this is Andy is not a fan of the Twilight films.
Or The Walking Dead.
Or The Walking Dead. Nope. Or that Game of Thrones. I'm out.
The Game of Thrones thing, I never could get into, because the very first episode I saw, they had a brother and sister banging each other. And I was like...
There's a lot of incest.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I told my buddies that I was living with, I was like, this is what y'all watch? I was like, this is kind of messed up.
As a Game of Thrones fan, as a Game of Thrones fan, this is like one of my indefensible opinions. I'm just like, I can't really defend this. Other than this kind of weird shit going on, it's a lot of other weird shit that goes on that show.
Yeah, I will say, like, to kind of close out the music video talk with this, the one thing that I really did like about it, though, even though it was kind of a nonsense music video, and Andy, I agree with you, I'm not a big zombie guy, so like I never watched The Walking Dead, never was really got into all that stuff. But at the end of the music video, after he saves his girlfriend from being attacked by zombies. And, they're sitting there, they hug it out, and they get into the old minivan, and then they just drive off in the junkyard, and then he slams on brakes and he pops out. And then he looks like freaked out. She looks terrified in her face, and he points the gun at her, and then you can see her eye is starting to turn into like she got infected by the zombies. And then, at the end, instead of shooting her, he just like shoots himself.
I like that part.
Of course, Andy does.
But Andy, the question is, would you have shot her or yourself?
Oh, definitely shooting her.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Without a doubt.
Yeah,
hands down. Not even a question.
Yeah, it's not even a question. As my fiance Bailey walks downstairs to our country and cocaine studio, I would have shot you, Bailey, 100%. If you were turning into a zombie, you'd have got capped. Yeah, but I'm not gonna lie. The first time I watched this music video, I completely missed the last 10 seconds of the music video.
Did you?
And I rewatched it, and I was like, "How did I miss this part?" I guess I just zoned out. Just I was like, okay, this is it.
Well, while I can appreciate that he does weird music videos, I'm not really as big of a fan of these types of music videos. If I make the mistake that me and Kyle both did and watched a music video before listening to the song, I should have listened to the song first because it's a distraction from actually grasping the song.
Yeah.
And because especially when you just see a bunch of freaking zombies on your screen and then he's going around popping caps in them.
Yeah.
Now I did, the narrative of the music video, I did like the end, like Andy said. Definitely would have shot the girl, wouldn't have shot myself. But let's shift gears to the song itself. I will say that the song as a whole, like sonically, this has one of my favorite Koe Wetzel melodies that I've heard in a long time. It's just got such an infectious melody, like in the chorus, and it's more of the same, which isn't a bad thing, of his kind of like post grunge pop punk meets Texas music kind of sound that he's cultivated. And I heard something pretty funny the other day. They said that he's post grunge and pop punk for Cowboys, but Cowboys was spelled Cowboys. And I was like, that's kind of a accurate description of his sound.
I would have spelled Cowboys with a K, but that's just me.
Koe probably would have to.
Yeah. No Z's though, Andy, right? No Z's.
No Z's.
Yep, that's right. No Z's on the end. You can't spell Cowboys with Z.
I don't know who told me that.
Yeah, no Z's. It's like I'm hanging with the boys with Z's. No, that's a red flag.
So, what did y'all think sonically about the song?
This is just like more of what we liked. To make it simple, I love the guitar melody of the song. It's not heavy rock, but it's not as heavy a song. But
it's not some of that trash that you guys were making me listen at a few weeks ago after we stopped recording.
Yeah, Logan's a hater. I was more impressed with how fairly deep the song was. It's not country or no, Sunday or Monday.
Or country and western.
Yeah, country and western. That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, it's got more to it than those songs do.
Yeah, this is
or at least definitely more to it than country and western.
Yeah, or Sunday or Monday.
Sunday or Monday's it's got a little bit more to it than that, but Sunday or Monday is kind of it's along the same lines, just not as much in my opinion. But Andy, what do you think?
Mine's going to be, it's a little bit more of a broad topic because this song actually is the one that it finally, I've pieced together my Koe Wetzel thoughts on what makes me like it and don't. I thought this song was definitely not his, it's not his least deep song. It's not his most shallow song, but I don't think it's his most deep song either. But vocally, it's not one of my favorites. I learned one of this, I think this is also what made Koe so popular. If you were to take, I'll pick some songs off some different albums, like Sober Sunday, I'm Done, Fuss and Fight. You can take those songs like FGA, Forever. All of those songs, you can yell the lyrics to it, and you are still somewhat going along with the song. Obviously, Koe can sing his ass off, so you can yell the songs in the crowd and don't have to be able to sing, and you're still kind of going along with the song. His rockier songs, I prefer when he does. It's sort of a little less sing-songy to an extent. It's a little less flowy and melodic. When he does stuff like that, I tend to like it to be a little bit of a slower song, like Shadow People, Drunk Driving. When he does the melodic stuff, I like that a little bit better, if that y'all are following me there.
So you're saying you like the more melodic phrasings when he employs that in a song?
When it's more of a stripped back song, like Fuss and Fight, Something to Talk About, all those songs, he does obviously more melodic because he's a great singer. But you can yell the words, the lyrics along with the song, and you're still kind of going with the pacing of the song. You can sing along with it without being able to sing at all.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. You're meaning that you prefer the melodic stuff. You like that when it's stripped back, but when it's a little bit more of a rock like heavier production side, you don't want it to be as melodic. You want it to be more in your face. You're, down in 2 Tito's and Red Bulls at one time at the Ritz in Raleigh, singing along to the song Screaming. Not that ever happened.
Yeah. And to a portion of like what it is that I think that's what I initially didn't like about Koe, which started with Noise Complaint, is that I don't think I liked that as much. Then I think Koe can do that better than almost anybody else in that aspect. It makes it super easy to sing along with at like a raging concert. It brings the whole crowd into it very well. And his voice, it sounds good on the albums because he has a great voice. And aside with the stripped back thing, I also like it a little bit better like on Out on Parole, where it's not a country album by any sense, but it's more country than anything post that. I like more of the melodic stuff in that because I think he has a great country voice to do melodic, rockier songs. I think it just works like that, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. What's funny about Koe's sound, because like when you guys are always trying to like get me to listen to the stuff y'all listen to from those genres, you're like, well, if you like Koe, you'll like this. I think I found out why I don't. And it's because I was getting ready to record Miserable and Reckless the other week, and one of my co-hosts on that show, who's about 10 years older than me, he heard a clip through the microphone as he was joining the Zoom call. And he goes, he didn't hear enough to really hear, but he goes, is that a new Koe song, or is that someone like Gobsmack or whatever they're called?
Godsmack.
Godsmack, sorry.
Yeah,
Either way. And I was like, it's a new Koe song. And I told him, I said, I think it was at that moment I figured out why I like Koe stuff. I like the rock and roll production that he's using on a lot of his stuff, but I can relate to Koe's music better than that other stuff from back then, because he's singing about stuff that, it's more relatable to me and how I grew up and everything, whereas it's easier for me to understand. And the Texas kind of like frat boy scene, I guess, that loves him. Like what is the Grady Smith calls them? The Cobros. Like it's a little bit more straightforward sometimes with the lyrical content. It's like, it's more understandable to me. And I think that's why I like it. Whereas like that other stuff that you guys have gotten me to check out, it's not that it's bad. It all sounds the same to me, and I don't really get the point of some of the songs.
Well, someone, I can't remember the name of them, they did a very interesting study that most of the time the music you listen to between when you're 15 and about 20 is the music you love forever, which is when you kind of got into the scene. Koe, obviously not so much.
Yeah.
The general Texas independent scene. And one, I have a major bone to pick because Koe sounds nothing like Godsmack.
Well, he only heard like a clip, but
okay.
It wasn't enough for him to really know.
Yeah. And Andy, I kind of disagree because this is one of those songs.
Yeah, I totally disagree with him, but
I was talking about how you're kind of take on you're more in your face. You just want to be able to just scream it. I think a lot of the chorus, people are going to just be screaming at the top of their lungs in bars.
Yeah, even with it being sing-songy, because it's an easily repeatable chorus.
Yes, I see people just jam into this.
Oh, especially the part like, I don't need your love, I don't need your sympathy, I don't need your heart. I just need some sober sleep. And then on the last chorus, when when it's not sober sleep, I just need some fucking sleep.
Yeah,
I can hear that being
or the part where he's like, where is it? Where he just drops bitch in the middle of the line.
That's let's talk about that for a second. That's my favorite part of the whole song. It's my favorite part of the whole song because it is like I'm glad that he only used it once.
Yeah,
and because it carried more of a punch. And then the preceding lines in the verses where he's like. So the song as a whole, he's not really in a committed relationship with this girl.
That's the fourth chorus.
Yeah. He's not really in a committed relationship with this girl, and he doesn't really like her as a human being. He likes what I'm assuming to be the sexual relationship they have.
Sure. Yeah.
But at the same time, she kind of sucks as a person.
It's toxic.
But at the same time, he's kind of caught under her spell. But then we get to that verse where it goes, "You're stunning and gorgeous, but your heart is the ugliest thing that I've ever seen." Then it drops and he goes, "Bitch, I don't need your love." Yeah. Like that part just hits hard, bro. I like that. And I like how he only used that, like he said bitch only that one time because it carried some weight. If he did it every time, overkill, and it's a little gratuitous. But when he first did that, I was like, hell yeah, dude. I was like, I can see that being a banger at a concert.
Yeah, that's kind of where I would tend to disagree with you a little bit, Andy. I don't see people screaming FGA in the same way I see them screaming Fuss and Fight or the number of other songs that he has. The only slow melodic song that you were kind of hinting at is Drunk Driving, but the real one I see them really, the slow melodic one like that, is Cold and Alone, which is like the only one that kind of fits.
Those for example.
Yeah, this is one of those I just see just people just screaming back at him.
And I think it's, to your point, Kyle, I think it's because the chorus is going to be easy to repeat, and it's got kind of like some, angry lyrics that are not like angry, like F you bitch kind of thing. Like, it's not like that. It's like, it's just like, I don't need your love. I don't need your sympathy. I don't need your heart. I just need some fucking sleep. Like, that's going to be, I think, fit the Cobros and I'm going to see him October 20th in Raleigh, so I'll be able to report back if the crowd likes it.
Yeah, I think
for a little bit more of a decent thing. I kind of think the lyrical content and sonically, I kind of was thinking it might be better if April Showers in this song were flipped.
Interesting. Now, the question I have, and we've talked about this with some of Koe songs. The song may be a banger. The song may be you like the sound of it, and maybe it's going to be fun in concert. But the question we always ask with Koe songs, is this song in particular actually good? Not just do I like it, but is it actually good? Now, my take is I actually think this one is good.
Yes,
this isn't like February 28th, 2016, right? Like, this one I think actually, while it's not going to be, song of the year, as I like to say, and like a narrative short story like Evan Tucker, right? I do think there's some meat on the bone. It actually kind of tells some type of narrative. I do think this song is pretty good. What do you guys think?
Andy, your thoughts first. I'll defer to you.
It's not his most shallow, I don't think. The reason I would say I think it's okay. I think like Koe, to me, like songs like Shadow People and stuff, to me Koe has proven that he can write what I think are good songs. So I would put this more in a average category.
I would put it a little higher than that. I would say it's probably a middling song on the Harold Saw High album. I don't think it's the best. I don't think it's the worst. Because for every Creeps, you have like a Love the Way You Hate Me or whatever it is.
That song not very good.
Yeah, or Powerball. Well, no, Powerball's pretty good. Seventh Period. I think it's Seventh Period.
Skit. Yeah,
the skit. Which he does it, but you also have Make Believe and Too High to Cry, which I just love.
Yeah.
And Forever is a banger. That's not a very deep song as it is, but
that's a good yelling song, though.
It is a good yelling song.
It's a great song for him to kick off a concert with.
Absolutely. I was surprised that it had a level of depth that it did, because the last 3 to 4 singles that Koe's put out, in my opinion, aren't the deepest. Sunday and Monday, Country and Western.
Yeah.
They're just kind of just throw shit at the wall.
Yeah, it like the Country and Western thing I think is a perfect example of what I mean by it's fun. I like it. It's hilarious and awesome and fun to yell at a concert. But is the song actually saying anything? No.
It's got awesome instrumental behind it.
Yeah.
And Koe he could sing the phone book with a great guitar riff behind it, and it sounds good.
I mean, Andy, I think you probably would agree with me on this. Kyle probably would too. But the mistake a lot of people make when they hear a song. They think that if they like it, then the song is good. And then some people think that just because a song is good, then that means everyone should like it. Neither of those things are true. Like, I like a lot of songs that, if I'm being honest, are like, in the grand scheme of things, in terms of quality, the quality maybe isn't there, but I kind of like it. I mean, I have a lot of
there's a lot of grunge / rock music that's not a very good song, but it sounds really nice. It sounds really great. You know, it's just when you sit there, and there's also a lot of pop music today that has a great sound.
I would argue almost all pop music falls into the category of I like, not me personally, but like somebody saying I like it. But is it very good? Probably.
It falls into the category of what an English teacher I had in college called a snow job. Snow stands for says nothing, only words. When she would critique our writing, it's a snow job, but it sounds really nice.
About everything I ever wrote.
Yeah, it says nothing, only words. So, I think a lot of music across all genres kind of go to that, country to pop to rap to. It's a lot of new music. They just put a sick beat behind it.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a catchy enough melody, if it's more melodic music, or you have a good enough beat, people are gonna be like, "Yo, this shit's so fire."
Yeah.
And sometimes that shit isn't very fire.
That's right.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, but I mean, that doesn't mean you can't like it and enjoy it. It's just, I mean, let's be honest, it didn't really say a whole lot and isn't really that good. It's ear candy.
Yeah. Which unfortunately sells.
It's honestly, to tie it into this song before we move on to Hardy, it's the ear version of being ear candy of what it seems like the young lady in the song that Koe is singing about. She's stunning and gorgeous, but her heart is the ugliest thing he's ever seen.
Right, yeah,
she kind of sucks, but he likes looking at her.
He likes what comes with it.
Yeah,
likes the whole pack. He likes half the package.
True,
not the whole package, half the package.
I'm glad I didn't just say what I was thinking, but we're
not going to use a good sign not to say it.
But Koe is good.
Well, yeah,
we have defended Koe against a lot of people in like the independent world that maybe doesn't get it, especially people that are older than us. Because we always talk about there's a generational divide with people with Koe's music. And I do think that Koe is like you guys have said, he's a very talented vocalist. I also think he's a talented songwriter that maybe doesn't always show up on every single track, but the dude can write a song and has an ear for a great melody and an ear for a catchy hook.
But
getting crowds involved.
I'll close it with not many people other than Zach Bryan show up on every single track.
Right.
I mean, you'd be hard pressed, other than the greatest hits albums, to find one that an artist shows up on every track.
That's fair. I mean, I can think of probably
it's a handful
of records that I think don't really have a skip on it. So
yeah.
All right, so that's the Koe Wetzel song "Creeps." One of the promotional singles. I don't know if he's shipping this already or not. I'll have to look that up. But from what's presumably going to be his upcoming record. So next up we have to talk about is the brand new Hardy song that's featuring Lainey Wilson. Lainey Wilson has actually been somebody that she's been a bright spot in the mainstream for a while. Her last record was pretty good. She's actually Andy in I think it's the final season of Yellowstone. She's going to be in it. Mm-hmm. So she's been kind of on a roll lately. And now she's, featuring on this Hardy song that I have a lot of thoughts about this, especially coming from the mainstream and being released to radio as a single. But Lainey Wilson's been kind of killing it lately. And Hardy, has been involved he's had a very successful couple years. And some of it's been really good, in my opinion, and some of it's been really bad. Because Andy, I think it was you, wasn't it, that you were talking about? You looked up some of the songs that Hardy has written over the last few years, and some of them you were like, there's some bad stuff on here.
They were very popular, but they were not good.
Yeah. But see, Hardy, I think, saves his best stuff for himself and for, like, when he's released, his side projects, like the Hicks tape stuff. It's got some fun songs on there. But if you go back, and I still argue that his album, A Rock, while it isn't, really that country, it's a good record. Koe and Hardy's music isn't all that different in a lot of ways. Hardy is more like more mainstream kind of safer sounding version of Koe's music. But it's not exactly the same, but there are some similarities. There's a reason, I guess, they went on tour together, a year ago.
I agree with you, Logan. There's not many people on the country, in air quotations, scene that are going to cover Puddle of Mud.
Right.
Hardy did, obviously, and I think Koe could do a pretty decent job if he tried. But there's not many people. You're never going to see Dierks Bentley covering Puddle of Mud. So that I think Hardy has much more of a rock element, and I do agree that he kind of saves his best stuff for himself, even the ones that people would say are terrible songs that he actually sang, like Rednecker, I think are more like of a self-deprecating song, than they are a serious song.
Yeah, I mean, if Rednecker was meant to be, self-serious, it would be a really bad song. But the fact that it's self-aware and he's in on the joke, I think makes the song, while I wouldn't call it Song of the Year again, it's a clever song and it's funny.
Well, yeah, I mean, even when we watched the music video, the first thing that Andy picked up was like, who in the hell would mud in a King Ranch truck? And I'm like, I think that's part of the gig, He's obviously just in on it because, he's in a $80,000 truck.
Yeah. But Hardy and Lainey Wilson collaborated and released this song called Wait in the Truck. Probably, Andy, I would say before listening to it, you probably had the same reaction I did because the word truck was in the title. But I gave it a shot, and then I got to say, I'm a big believer in comparing people to their peers. He's a mainstream artist that writes a lot of mainstream hits, so the best thing to do is to compare him to his peers. And this song from the get-go kind of has it is definitely a country song, but it has kind of that reminiscent. You heard the rattle at the beginning. There's reminiscent of like God's Country. It kind of has that southern kind of gothic feel to it, but it is a country song. And what I think is really, really cool about this song is it's an actual story. Like from beginning to end, it's a story. It's a narrative. It isn't just a list song about Daisy Dukes, Dixie Cups, and trucks on a dirt road, or one of those like god awful boyfriend country songs about I would die if you weren't around. What's your sign? Let me buy you beer. Kind of bullshit that we hear from people like Chris Lane. But I appreciated that it was a story, but it also, we'll get into this in a little bit. It can be thought provoking, and that's something that you don't get from mainstream songs a lot. It's something that actually kind of makes you not just think about the song, but think about, if I was in this position, would I have done that? Would it have been worth it? But what were you guys' initial thoughts on Wait in the Truck by Hardy and Lainey Wilson?
Well, I can say that the thought-provoking part that you're saying, this song has one issue that I absolutely cannot get past. And it's the only issue actually I have with the song. As you said, that it is a story. The issue I have is this is the stupidest fucking story I've ever heard in my life. You literally, I think you have to probably be the dumbest person on earth to murder somebody over a stranger that you just met. That is the dumbest possible idea I have ever heard. And I cannot get past that. When he says, was it worth it? Absolutely fucking not, you dumbass.
But the fact that you have such a strong opinion on that, about the story on the song, kind of is the point. Like, would you have handled it differently?
The problem is, I actually, based off of the teaser he put out, I actually thought I was going to like this song, and I was kind of excited about it. And then it really let me down.
It's more of a, honestly, like, it's more of a vengeance fantasy. It's not really meant to be like a real true to life story that Andy and his big rig runs across this girl who's been beaten. Lizard. This lot lizard's been beaten.
Well, Andy, to that point, a lot of time in film or whatnot, you have to put aside what they call the suspension of disbelief and just kind of take it for what it is. In a lot of movies, they have scenes that in the real world don't add up, but you're like, okay, I'll let it go because it's a movie. I let it go because it's a song.
It's also fiction. I mean, there's a lot of things in fiction that you just I think you wouldn't experience. I mean,
I think to an extent, this song plays on a certain level of a power fantasy, because I think a lot of dudes in their head and somewhere in their mind, they would think if they rolled across what he rolls across in the song, they're gonna go kick some ass.
Right.
Stanley Gilbert.
Except Andy, because Andy hates women. But I think to a certain extent, I think a lot of people would think they would maybe not murder someone, but they might go ahead and kick the door in and kick some ass. So I think that is an element of the song. I don't think a lot of people would go in and just shoot somebody, but they might go in and beat somebody's ass if they think they could.
So, Andy, beyond, the very kind of, which I agree with you, out there fictional aspect of it obviously you're going to go to the police and you'd help her out, but you're going to go to the police. You're not going to be going, picking up the judge under the seat, as Lainey said in the chorus, and, pop a cap in this guy in his trailer. But beyond that aspect of it, what did you think of the song, like when it comes to how it was written? The one thing I want to point out too was, like, I like how they're not really interacting with each other in a traditional duet of like a love song or whatever. Like, he's singing about the story, the exposition of it as it begins, and then her parts in the chorus is like her testimony when he's on trial. I thought that was a really, really cool moment. But beyond the fictional aspect that, what did you think of like the song in terms of songwriting and sonically and all that?
Well, I'll add in is that I would have much rather it had been anything but a stranger. That would have fixed almost the entire song if she just wasn't a stranger.
If it had been like his sister.
Sure.
Yeah, or anything. Like, I just feel like Hardy could have came up with it would have made him killing them for a reason other than it's almost pointless. Almost not pointless. I don't want to say pointless, but the fact that it's a stranger just makes it mean less. It would just
I could sympathize.
Anything but a stranger. It makes me so angry.
Yeah,
anything but a stranger would have made the song leaps and bounds better writing.
But while
that's a writing issue, I can't let go.
I can give an argument against that. The argument against that is, while I do agree that I probably would have taken it that direction, just like you would have, the argument against that is the fact that at the end of the song, he said that he's been there 60 months, so 5 years, and she still comes to see him time to time, and she thanks him and everything. It's like, it provides, he may have acted irrationally trying to defend this woman's honor and, her being beaten to death by a whiskey drunk in the trailer. But at the same time, the setup of her being very, very grateful and saying, I don't know if he was an angel, because an angel wouldn't have done what he did. But at the same time, she wasn't going to have to be beaten anymore. And then her being grateful enough to come visit him in prison for going on 5 years, it develops the story. And then at the end of it,
that's
poses
the best line.
That's the best line. It poses the question again. And I think, Andy, you and I both agree on this, and you've answered it, explicitly how you feel. The question is, was what he did worth it? Now, personally, I don't think so. There's other ways to help the young lady than to go and, shoot the dude in the trailer and then smoke a cigarette.
Yeah, that was badass, though. Badass. Yeah. But, like I said, he it ain't paradise, but it's a hell of a lot better than where he sent him to.
Yeah.
That was pretty bad. That was a pretty badass line. Also, I like the 357 stub nose that he pulled up on
in the video.
Yeah. Like I said, what really kind of sold me on the song was the music video, because in just listening to the song, you don't get the imagery that Lainey Wilson's verses are her testimony in court. That was a really clever trick they pulled in the music video that you wouldn't have picked up on just listening to it. So I really enjoyed that. I think most of the song is like and I do tend to agree somewhat with Andy.
I do too.
If he would have made this his sister, go just bust a cap in this dude. Or if it's his sister, you can even make the case it might even be an ex-girlfriend.
On second thought, You know why I don't think that would have worked? Because then it would have been cheesy. And everybody would have talked about how it's just, you're the protective older brother and it's cheesy. This actually...
It's just a random chick.
It's a random chick that's been beaten and he doesn't think it's right. Now, do I agree with what he did and would I have done that? Again, no. But at the same time, I think it makes the song more interesting. It makes the song more thought-provoking instead of just being like, oh, yeah, I mean, it's his sister. Of course he's going to go take care of business and defend her. Like, I think it becomes cheesy at that point.
Yeah, I can see that. I think...
I'm not saying sister either. I'm saying even if it was a stranger that he had developed some form of relationship with, just anything but from someone that you literally just met. I mean, anything but that.
The song would have had to been completely rewritten if it didn't, though, because if you think about how the chorus went, you think about the ending of the song, it would have been a completely different song.
Sure.
Which, Andy, that may be what you want, but but I mean, I get your point, but I also think that that's what made the song interesting, and the fact that it's a mainstream song that I think is being sent to radio that has a pretty clear narrative that isn't just about fun times in the sun because everybody wants to act like it's all fantasy land on the radio. It's a more dour, dark kind of feel to it. And Kyle, to your point, I just thought about this a little while ago when you were saying the music video. Music video really did help understand the chorus better. Sure, I think that they did a good job of the narrative being clear in the song and the verses about because he's just going through the steps of what happened, telling the story, and like he even talks about he didn't try to run or whatever. He sat there and just smoked a cigarette. Like
one of his last, the guy he just shot.
Yeah, he takes his cigarette and smokes it. But the chorus, I do agree that it maybe isn't as clear, that this was a testimony when he was on trial as it was in the music video.
Yeah. When I was talking about this suspension of disbelief, I don't believe in the state of Tennessee this guy's getting life.
Probably not.
Yeah. Because in the music video, it's very apparent it's a Tennessee flag in the background.
Yeah.
That was just one of those. I'm not really going to bother with the criticism of that. But yeah, there's no way this dude's getting life because they have pictures of the night. The dude, Anyway, that's kind of what I was getting at. Suspension of disbelief. I really like the song, and I'm a Hardy stan to a certain level. I think he wish more people would like him, quite frankly. And I think what him and all the other guys at Big Loud are doing is a positive because
it's more interesting pop country than
what we have had for the last 10 years.
Yeah. Like a lot of it definitely is still pop country.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, Wallen's pop country, Ernest is pop country. Hardy's more rock, but I guess that gets grouped in with pop country. But it's Hardy and...
It's better than bro country.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, Hardy is definitely more interesting than your average dude with the square jawline wearing skinny jeans that's bleached his teeth.
Yeah. And now the last thing, which is completely unrelated to the song that I found interesting, every one of Hardy's tracks on Spotify are all caps. This one's all lowercase.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. I found that
didn't either.
Interesting. Because, every other Redneck or Rock, his name, all caps. This song is all lowercase, which I think is a very clever trick to change the tone of the song.
Take it a step further. Could this be that the next record is going to be a little bit more... It could be darker?
Could be.
And because it's darker, it's the opposite.
Yeah, because every song he has is all caps.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. That's a good catch.
I can't remember the. I want to say it was on You Betcha Radio. I think is when he said why everything was all caps, but I can't remember why he does it. There was a reason behind it, and he said what it was, but I don't remember what it was.
The only other person I know that does that is that Nico Moon guy.
Yeah, he's the worst. God knows he's the worst.
But
I want to say there's another, like somebody else, like in another genre, it's popular for people to do it, but I can't remember. This would be a great time to remember why he does it.
I saw that and I was like, that's I don't know if it means anything, but I thought it was was interesting.
See, what's funny is I noticed that it was all in lowercase, but I didn't make the connection that all his other music is all caps.
Every other song he has is all caps. So it may be a nothing burger. Yeah, even right, we're looking at your laptop, sold out, all caps.
Yeah. So Andy, so while you may not have loved you like that part of the song, what did you think of the music video?
I like the music video. It's fine. The big issue I have with the music video is the story makes no fucking sense. It's a dumb story that ruins everything. I like the sound of it.
Fair.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Can't tell you your opinion's wrong.
You can't. But I mean, I get Andy's viewpoint on it. It's
sure,
the thing.
Yeah, sure.
I actually disagree with Andy on some of it, but I understand where he's coming from.
With it.
Yeah, I do. I sympathize but I understand. So it's like I'm not gonna be like, yo, that's a trash opinion, because I don't think it's a trash opinion. I just don't necessarily agree with it.
Sure, yeah. I can go with that.
This might be like one of the more productive disagreements we've had in a while over a song, Andy.
Oh, disagreement. I think you guys are just speaking nonsense.
Andy's like, you know what? Fuck being agreeable.
I think you guys are falling for that. Like I've heard people say it recently, but that Andrew Tate guy, it's like,
don't compare us to that guy, Andy.
That guy.
God, no.
What the thing is what makes him popular is that he'll say something that's undeniably true. Like, this just makes sense. And then say nonsense. And then that's how people fall for it. It's like he has a coherent story, but you guys are leaving out the part that it's a dumb story that from the get-go.
But see, I don't think it's a dumb story, and I've laid out, I think, a pretty reasonable case as to why, if he had changed it to the way that you wanted it to, I don't think the song works. I think it becomes cheesy. And it's fiction. Like
shitty fairy tale.
Yeah, but every almost piece of art you consume is not real, man.
Yeah.
I just don't see how in some fantasy land it's like, I just don't get it. I just don't. I want a stranger to murder this guy. I mean,
okay, Andy. Look, at a certain point, you got to have suspension of disbelief.
Yeah,
that's you got to look at it that way in movies. I mean, look, Bailey loves horror movies, even though half those horror movies are just completely trash when you look at the main plot line. Like Saw, there's no way a fucking puppet is torturing these people, but people fucking love it. There's no way. What, Andy?
Gore factor. It's like the gore factor in most of that stuff.
I mean, yeah. I mean, a lot of these horror. Exorcisms. Yeah, they're not real.
I'll even point to, Andy, a song that you and I both are big fans of, "Forever" by Koe Wetzel. In real life, it's not believable that Koe Wetzel, who comes from a very decent family, was hitchhiking and jumped in a van with a woman with $27 worth of cheap cocaine. Sorry, that's not a real story.
It's more believable than a stranger murdering somebody.
I think that's what makes the song interesting. That's what makes the song thought-provoking in my mind.
Andy, the majority of murders in this country are about people that don't know each other.
But that's the thing, though, is what gets me. Is to me, it's almost the fact that she's a stranger and you don't know her. So granted, I guess it's the vigilante aspect of it. But it's almost I don't want to call it a senseless killing because he did beat her, but to an extent, it's almost a senseless killing.
Andy,
it's like he's murdering him just because he wants to kill somebody. And that's the best reason he can find.
All right. So in the music video, let's face it, Lainey Wilson, very pretty girl.
Sure.
What if we say the fact that Lainey Wilson's a very pretty girl had something to do with it? And it may have just struck a chord. We're reaching here.
And you could also make the case, because it says it in the song and the music video, that he didn't necessarily go in there with the intention of just popping a cap in this guy's ass. Like, he said that, he let the hammer drop before he could reach for his 12 gauge. But in the music video, and the implication there is the guy was reaching for his 12 gauge. Now, did he go out and seek the altercation? Yes. But there's no proof, to your point, if you want to talk about believability, that he necessarily went in there to just, hey, I'm going to shoot this dude.
Ruthlessly kill this guy.
But Hardy did say that he didn't even try to hide his gun, I believe.
He didn't, because, what are you going to do? Act like, the bullet hole you can't hide?
I don't know.
He was taking responsibility for his actions.
No, I think he said that before he went inside.
Oh, yeah.
He showed up with the gun out. If somebody shows up at your door and looks angry with a gun out, I'm going to assume this guy's going to try to kill me.
I think the moral of the story is if Andy sees someone that's walking down the road in the rain and they've been beaten, then Andy's like, yeah, sucks for you.
You probably deserve it.
I mean, even Batman didn't shoot people.
Batman is
Hey, see, here's another example.
Whoa. Time out. Did you just really use Batman as an example after you've been railing against the unbelievability of this song? So a billionaire that dresses up as a bat at night.
Who doesn't kill people.
You think is more believable than this story. Yeah, but come on.
I could think of for an example. I would have rathered in this song. Would have been cool if Lainey Wilson had faked like the bruises or whatever just to get him to kill him.
Now, I do think that would have made the song another level more interesting to me.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I would have been okay with that.
I like that.
Yeah.
If she had set him up, like he was a piece of shit and he was a drunk, but she set him up so she could get rid of him. Yeah.
And then
insurance money.
I would have been fine with that.
Then it would have been really clever at the end of the song. She's the one in jail.
Because if you think about it, well, no. She's got to go off into the sunset. Because if you think about it, she orchestrates her piece of shit drunk husband, who she has a big life insurance policy on, that he gets murdered by this guy who she has no relation to. The guy goes to jail. Her piece of shit husband is dead. And she cashes out and rides off into the sunset, and her whole plan came together.
That would be,
That's compelling.
Yeah. Andy, that's very good. You should send that to Hardy.
That's what I was expecting of this song. It doesn't help that I had high expectations based off the teaser.
Yeah. That's a good director's cut of that song, Andy.
Yeah, we want the Forsyth cut, like the Snyder cut. Yeah, we want the Forsyth cut.
I like that idea a lot. I really do.
I do like that.
I like how at the end of this, you know what? You're right. That's a better idea.
Well, no, I never said you were right. No. I still think you're wrong.
Well, move on. Next segment.
Well, that was the last segment.
Yeah. So, I think it was a good week for country adjacent music, though.
Yeah, and these two are definitely like artists are more country adjacent, but this Hardy song is definitely, I would classify as country.
Sure, yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, Andy, you liked the Koe song, even though you thought it was middle of the road. You didn't like the Hardy song because of the narrative. Kyle, where did you fall on those two?
I love the Hardy song. Love the Koe song.
Yeah, I like both a lot.
Didn't really. I'm not as high on the music video on the Koe song just because it tainted my view of the song originally. I was like, "What the fuck is this about?"
Right.
And that's a me problem, not necessarily a song problem. If I just listened to it on Spotify, I probably would have had a much different view of the song because I did the inverse with the Hardy song, and then watching the music video made that much more fond of it. I was like, oh, that's right. A couple things they did in the music video. I was like, that's very clever.
Now, Andy, one last thing I want to bring up before we close out the show is your boy, Riley Green, released another version of Hell of a Way to Go. This time it's acoustic.
Hey, at least he changed it a little bit.
It's going to be on his next EP. It's going to have 4 of the same songs that were on the last EP, except these 4 are acoustic.
I get why he does it, but I understand the frustration with people with it too.
Yeah. Just,
But yeah.
He's frustrating.
I mean, fair.
He's frustrating to me.
Because of the way he releases stuff.
That, and then he'll have fairly decent EP/album, but like 3 of the songs are the exact same.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I mean, I can agree with that.
With a different coat of paint.
Now, you guys, it wasn't one that we were covering this week, but I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Muscadine Bloodline put out a new song called shoot, can't remember the name of it now.
I have not heard of that.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is because, one, I really dig their new sound. They've kind of shifted to a way more rootsy country kind of sound lately. Evan Rudin. Okay. But the reason I'm bringing it up is like I'm not getting deep into the song. We have another Hardee's breakfast reference.
Oh
yeah. Because like we talked about, how the hiding out Alabama and Mississippi.
So
I think
that's still Hardee's, yeah.
So yeah, but Andy, we were talking about the Riley Green song a while back on how we like the reference of the hanging out behind the Hardee's and how we were just like, not many people are reference Hardee's. And then like here's another one. It's Muscadine Bloodline's new song. They're talking about on the way going fishing, getting that Hardee's biscuit. And I was just like, okay, I can relate to this. I love some Hardee's breakfast.
Hell yeah.
I'll throw in. I got another one. We won't hark on the song, but I can give you a bigger disappointment than this Hardy song. Kip Moore's new song that came out, where
we need to talk.
Supposed to have Morgan Wade on it.
No, so she's in the music video,
but he didn't specify that she was just in the video.
Agree.
He said that.
Agree, and that's my frustration with it too. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about that too. I was really hyped to the point that I tweeted and got some traction on a tweet about, I was like, hey, a Morgan Wade, Kip Moore collab. I was like, I'm here for that.
So she's just in the video.
She's just an actress in the video playing his love interest. Now, Grady Smith has an interesting theory that I want to hear what you guys think. Grady Smith was saying that there are points.
Before you say your point, just 1,000-foot view. It's kind of disrespectful. She's much too talented just to be a.
Oh yeah,
you can find any girl. No, sounds sexist. You can find any girl to be his love interest in a music video.
Right.
You don't find a talent of her level to just be a love interest in a video. Yeah.
But Grady Smith's what he calls his kind of conspiracy theory is he thinks that she was supposed to be and did record her parts on the song, but because he said it was if that happened, it was probably some issues with the because they're on different labels.
Yeah, licensing.
That does present an issue when you do duets if you're on different labels. And he goes, there's a couple points in the video where they cut and it looks like she was getting ready to sing, and I was like, that makes sense to me. It makes more sense to me than just having her come in and act in the video. The only other thing would be, are they like a thing? That's the only other thing I could think.
That's the conspiracy I went with, because to be honest, that video was kind of tough to watch. That was a lot of
PDA.
unnecessary. Yeah, way too much. That was cringy.
I haven't seen the video. But
my God,
the point I'm going to make is, one, if you're his manager and or her manager, how do you let it get that far without any kind of rough collaboration between record labels?
Yeah, I mean, if that part, if it was actually true,
there's no way a manager on a label lets it get that far,
right?
Like,
that's
at best you do a cameo where you're just in the background, but you're not the focal point of the video. That's kind of
like what Kyle's saying too. Is that if you're like, I think he mentioned that she was going to be in it like a week before it came out. If that's is that even enough time to even redo the song to get her out of it?
Well, no, he did. That's the thing, though. He never said anything about her being in the song. He posted
I meant for the conspiracy theory, that she was originally going to be in it, like the Grady Smith. So I would assume in that conspiracy that they had already had the song recorded, right?
Yeah, but you could have recorded the song, but to actually release the song, there could have, if this has any legs, it could have been that, something fell through on the deal that was made.
Yeah.
Now, that's very possible because, when you have contracts and lawyers and suits involved, things, it gets in the way of the art, man.
But I feel like, my thing is, whoever was in charge of this setup,
assuming that this was...
Yeah, assuming this is all legit, just totally botched it, because Kip Moore and Morgan Wade are big enough to have record label, have people to handle this, and it should have all T's and I's should have been crossed.
Yeah.
Before it ever even hits Twitter. If it falls through, it should have just died. And then we find out about it in a year and be like, oh, yeah, they did this collab, but it kind of fell through. It shouldn't come from one of their official Twitter accounts if it's not all T's and I's crossed.
To be fair to Kip, when Andy was referencing that or maybe I misunderstood Andy, but the reference of him saying that she was in the song, nobody ever said she was in the song. We all drew that conclusion based on a screenshot of the music video.
Yeah.
But what I would say is that I think it just mentioned that Morgan Wade was involved, but it did not specify how.
Right.
But that's almost like saying,
and she was involved.
Dale Earnhardt to come. It's like you got Dale Earnhart's going to be at the race, but he's working the concession stand. Nobody's going to assume that. They're going to assume he's driving.
Yeah,
no, like the Michael Scott, Bruce Springsteen tickets.
Yeah, yeah.
Does he have them?
Andy, speaking of racing, you know how they're reopening North Wilkesboro?
Yeah, they did that like a month ago.
No, I mean okay. Are you in like a bad mood today?
Isn't it this?
They have been racing. They have literally been racing for a month.
God knows, I'm going somewhere with this. You're just like in such a shitty mood today. You hate everything, and like you won't even riff with me when I'm going. It's music related. I'm going somewhere with this.
Andy,
God knows.
Is it your astrological sign to be in a mood this month? I
thought you liked the Midwest. You're angry out there.
I think the generalized personality is
wrong. Sorry, I like facts.
Well, I mean, like, okay, sure. That aside, what I'm saying is, you know how they're having Dale Jr. out there. I think it may have been this weekend or this upcoming weekend or whatever. But
that is factual.
At that race, I believe the Grand Marshal of that race is going to be BJ Barham,
and the pace car driver.
And he's also the pace car driver. Yep. That's where I was going with this, and I think you knew that, but you wanted to torpedo it anyways.
Yeah, but what you said wasn't wrong. I was wrong. I just wanted to point out the fact that they have been having races for the entire month.
Well, he filmed the music video there for Tough Folks.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought.
But that was my cool kind of news I was going to bring up, but it kind of, wet blanket.
Yeah, because aren't they going to like race and then next year they're repaving it and completely redoing the venue, and then.
That's what I've heard. Andy might can enlighten us.
Apparently, it's much too small to be a legit net. Go ahead, Andy.
Okay, I can go ahead. What they reopened it starting it was August 1st was the first race. They ran on the original asphalt track, the same as it was. They just made it where they can get people in there. Didn't change anything. They ran it every day but Sunday for the month of August, and then starting in September. They're going to tear up the asphalt, and then the entire month of October, they're going to race every day but Sunday on the original dirt track where it was under the asphalt. Is the original dirt for the track, and then they're going to remodel
I
it.
mean, because when you go to Boone, you ride right past North Wilkesboro, and it's on the edge of the highway, and there's trees and shit
right there.
Stands.
Oh, it was in kind of rough shape. That's why
I'm not talking about like small. I'm not talking about small saplings. I'm talking about like major pine trees.
Yeah, it's going to take some. It is taking some money to get that back up to previous conditions.
I haven't seen the inside of it, but I was like, how in the hell are they going to let somebody race on that?
Yeah, the state gave them a considerable sum of money.
I believe that. It's normally how that stuff works.
Yeah, it's a historic monument, though.
Yeah, but either way, we be sure to go check out because we're on episode 4 now of the brand new Cold Cans Network college football podcast called Tailgate Season. That's Tailgate SZN. It's available on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. If you're an ACC fan, you might want to check this podcast out. Have everything from football analysis, good jokes, and also some, betting picks from Jordan and just we have our pick 'em every week.
Friendly banter.
Friendly banter. So definitely check out Tailgate Season. That's Tailgate SZN on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Mm-hmm. And then, while you're at it, follow us on all the social media. You know what they are at this point. And give us 5 stars and a great review. And make sure you click that follow button on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Check out the website, coldcansnetwork.com. And, for this episode of Country and Cold Cans, I'm Logan sitting there with Kyle and bad news Andy in the Midwest. Hopefully he can be in a better mood next time. But
sorry, I'm a truther.
We'll see you next time.